Hey everybody, my name is Marcel with Ernie Racing News. I am the Canadian journalist. Today's story starts with Danielle Smith, Premier of Alberta, in her reply on Twitter X to, what is his name, Stephen Guilbeault, who is the Environment Minister for Trudeau. So he's a propagandist. So Daniel goes on to read, every Canadian must read this article and see just how unrealistic Environment Minister S. Guilbeault's extreme policies are. So, that's a quote. These initiatives, however, overlook two realities. Consumer preferences are not easily swayed by top-down government directives, and the unrealistic timeline for minerals crucial for electric vehicles raises serious doubts about the likelihood of success. And that's an article by Julio Mejia at Elmira of the Toronto Star. So let's take a look at the article from the Toronto Sun. Why North America electric vehicle mandates are destined to fail. It's not clear that sufficient capacities will be available to produce enough EVs to achieve the mandates being imposed on Canadians and Americans, nor it is clear consumers are willing to spend their own money to purchase them. Because right now, all electric vehicles are subsidized by the government. They actually cost $150,000 to make an electric vehicle. And then you go to the store and you buy one, oh, I get one for $50, $60. Well, the taxpayers are paying for the rest of it. And then the electric grid cannot withstand the addition of each electric vehicle, counting as another 1,000 homes using in terms of how many kilowatts it's using. But according to the reports, the Trudeau government will soon unveil regulations meant to phase out the sale of new internal combustion vehicles and compel Canadians to buy zero-emission vehicles. The Biden administration is also mandating a similar shift. So let's go back over to Twitter and get into the best part is Stephen Guilbeault, Minister of Environment, actually replies to Danielle Smith and makes such a fool of himself. And you guys are going to love this. This kind of negative thinking is un-Canadian. He's talking to Danielle Smith back. Our government has significant level of accumulated experience, ethics violations in guidance and directing consumer preferences to align with the government's vision. Our free and impartial government, impartial and free. No, you guys don't work for free at all. You steal. Government-funded press together. And impartial government-funded press, holy smokes, CBC, right? Together with our free and open government-controlled Canadian cyberspaces, are important tools in shaping public opinion so that it conforms to the expectation of the government. That's right, guys. Just read through the lines. You must conform to the expectations of the government, Big Brother, right? Coupled with this, a rigorous enforcement regime, holy smokes, we got Stephen Guilbeault, Hitler, and I have no doubt that common Canadians would be more than happy to obey their betters. Obey your betters. Obey your politicians. Obey your unelected officials in the WEF, Davos. So let's get right into the comments because Canadians have an answer to, this Stephen Guilbeault, he is like, what a psychopath. Psychopath, Stephen, psychopath. What planet are you living on? Boom, nice answer, Mr. Robin. And Stephen replies again, I just don't want to end up like the poor people of Solaris. Research shows we are on the same track. It's terrifying. Research shows. I'm Stephen Guilbeault. Research shows that breathing barriers do this and that. Research shows that these dangerous pesticides are fantastic. Oh, but the research doesn't show anything but the opposite. And the best part is Stephen Guilbeault puts in this freaking little subvert. The title, From Sustainable Utopia to Blazing Inferno, The Fall of Solaris. I'm going to read just a little excerpt from it. This study examines the transformation of Solaris, once a planet thriving with sustainable life, into what is now our sun. Oh, catfight. Central to Solaris' past where its strong, centralized liberal government with absolute control over every facet of life. The government imposed advanced progressive social policies, including the acclaimed limited population program, which promotes ecological balance through controlled population growth and equitable resource distribution, irrespective of gender or other social classifications. Following the refusal of selfish peasants to comply with the LPP, Solaris saw an era marked by rampant resource exploitation for heating, food production, and travel. This period also witnessed a shift in the socio-political landscape with the emergence of a conservative government dismissive of scientific evidence and the nuanced understanding of gender roles that had long underpinned Solarian society. The disregard for these principles of gender equality and sustainable living led to a dramatic increase in planetary temperatures. Even though we know, if you look back over the thousands of years of the planet right now is on the ice age. Since they started recording in the last 100 years, we've been in the cold part of the math. In fact, the planet was 2.5 degrees warmer 10,000 years ago. And it's going like this through the planet's time of its own course. And then we eventually went down to where we are today in the last 100 years. And now it's on the rise again, even though it was much up here before. So forget about your last 100 years. Yeah, it's getting a little warmer over the last 100 years, a degree. Because it was 2.5 degrees higher than before that. We're just going to get back to normal, guys. It has nothing to do with what we're doing, what these guys are doing. And even if it's us humans, it's great to help the environment. Stop throwing litter everywhere. Stop blowing up pipelines in the Nordic Sea or whatever, the Baltic Sea, maybe, and releasing how many thousands of ethanol into the ocean, gas, oils, etc. Those, let's look at some actual problems that we can solve. Your military-industrial complex, your $15 trillion military-industrial complex. Wild. Okay, so anyway, you can see he's absolutely crazy. This is the craziest sci-fi reject. That's Steven. Clearly this contextualizes life for you. I'm glad you have some way of communicating thoughts with the humans outside mom's basement. Oh, bam. Next, methinks some have yet to read your complete title, Stevie. They shall be billed the full retail price of $39.99 for crickets. You haven't been sharing your door with your friends, have you? Brilliant. I am overjoyed to see this faithful following of the true science. Yeah, what he said. Oh my God. Are you high? Are you high? And now we reap the benefits of their folly through our limitless supply of cheap solar power. Talk about getting the last laugh. Are you sure that you didn't plagiarize Al Gore, John Kerry, and Jane Goodall's paper after they converted to Christian Science? You must have the most vivid dreams at night. We have not heard such insane ramblings since January 30th, 1933. I mean, these... just fuck off, Frog. Okay, let's go back to the initial before he put this little social science bullshit on here. Where he did. And then back to the comments. Not getting me this time, but you were writing exactly as those clowns would. Good job. William says, love to discuss energy with you. Do you even know what a BTU is? All energies turn to BTUs. Have you looked at the load you will be adding to the grid? The average car charger is like adding 7 air conditioners to every house. It's a big dream that's going to cost Canadians. And that's not including the rapid chargers, which take thousands in their kilowatts per hour, 1,000 homes. Okay, well, Guy will explain it. Repeat after me. I will obey our supreme leader. Now you must say this 60 times a minute without a breath so you can obey and save the air and the world for him. All right, let's look at this dude.
Now, I am just doing a quick little video here just to give people an idea of how much energy it takes to charge an electric vehicle. I'm at Electrify America. This is a 350 kilowatt station. I'm consuming roughly 137 kilowatts. It'll fluctuate. Sometimes I can go up to the full 350. But to put this into perspective, an average home consumes 1.25 kilowatts per hour. 135 kilowatts per hour. It's like the equivalent of 106 homes on the grid, just this one station. Now, if I was going to get the full 350 kilowatts like these can supply, that would be the equivalent of 280 homes. Now think of
280 homes for that one fast charger, which is up to 350 kilowatts. 350 kilowatts. Oh, wow. So my inverter in my RV is up. It's a 3,000 watt inverter, 3 kilowatts. It can invert up to 3 kilowatts continuously. Here, this one is 350 kilowatts. And I can tell you that's what, if I was operating near the limit of my inverter, my 400 amp hours, my $4,000 of lithium battery from Battleborn would be dead in an hour or less. Like I have a serious battery bank. Those $4,000 lithium 400 amp hour Battleborn batteries, and they would be like goner at holding that rate. It's like running your microwave and whatever else in the fridge all at the same time, or your coffee maker and the microwave, and boom, you even exceed 3,000 and blow the fuse, my 400 or 300 amp fuse. Anyways, let's continue.
About all 6 chargers running at full capacity. That's like 1,080 homes on the grid. Just a little food for thought. It's things.
1,080 homes. Definitely food for thought. 1,080 homes is that little charger station. So that's why they have to be spread out everywhere, because now you gotta run, like, how are you gonna run power? Now you need a ton of copper. You gotta mine a ton of copper. Oh, and how do you make the electricity? Well, the dams aren't gonna keep up.
People don't realize the amount of energy it takes to fast charge these batteries. It's a huge amount of electricity. And now you understand why the electric companies can't even supply that much power to.
I guess what this all comes down to is like, yeah, we could look at facts and common sense, but that's not what this is about. Stephen and Trudeau, Justin, they don't care about these facts. They're ignoring them. They want to destroy us. They want to destroy Canada. They want the full WEF reset, the globalist reset. They got to bring us down to starvation, to poverty, to depression. 15-minute cities. Nobody's allowed to live in the boonies. The bylaw will come and attack you if you put like a small home or an RV on your land out in the middle of nowhere. Nope. You have to be hooked up to utilities or it's illegal. This is actually serious what I'm saying right now. People are being attacked. Some neighbor rats on somebody living in the woods and saying on his own property and saying, oh, he's out there with a tiny home or whatever, which is totally sustainable life. But no, that's illegal. You have to have a home installed with all the utilities before. You're not allowed to just have an RV or a tiny home living on solar and just living off the land or having a zero emission impact, really. So it's not about that. It's about destroying us, destroying Canada. That's what it all comes down to. These guys are psychopaths that want to destroy us. That's the only answer. Let's continue on with the comments here. The amount of people outraged at a parody account and taking what it says as a real opinion is utterly alarming and also incredibly hilarious. Oh, I did, yeah. I didn't see that response was a parody. Oh my god. Okay, we're all. Oh, this is so fantastic. So fantastic. Well, I mean, I guess the whole point is the parody account is the true Stephen Guilbeault. It is. It all lines up with what we understand. We're all making fun of the fact that what he is doing is unrealistic and it's destroying Canada. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is Ernie Racing News, Canadian journalist. Have a good one. Cheers.